Hello, this is Mike with Visit Lawrenceburg, and I'm kind of co-opting this video also to be shared over on the Amish of Ethridge, because if people come to Lawrence County, I want them to know a little bit about our pizza places and such. Now, because I'm talking about pizza places for people that mainly came here to, vacation or something, I have to kind of form some criteria, or else we'll be here like for a long time. Because I can definitely talk about pizza quite a bit, because I make my own. Actually, I have an Uni Karu 16. It has the propane attachment. It takes the brick, little briquettes, with the wood and the charcoal blend. And I tend to run a little bit more wood than charcoal and all that sort of thing in mine. Only if I really need a pizza fast will I put the propane attachment and all that sort of thing. But anyways, a pizza oven's got a pizza stone, all that sort of thing. So I want to talk about how, when it comes to pizza, I do love it. I can't eat as much because I've got an Omnipod 5 because I'm a diabetic. But for the little bit that I do, I want it to be great. So I want to start off with that kind of preface. I also want to talk about the control pizzas. This happens to be one I just made for my kiddo. Well, as you can tell, the pepperoni's just falling off of it. But anyway, here's the bottom. You can see it still has the floury stuff from the front here. We kind of made this one in the oven, ironically. We got a pizza stone for it, and we just kind of make her little small ones. But I'm going to talk about it using this particular pizza that we make ourselves. We'd make the crust, we'd have the dough, we rise it, we use, everything in here we've taken control of. So I think that since I've been doing this for a while now, that gives me kind of the ability to judge other pizzas. And I'm definitely going to do that. But I'm not going to judge it in a way that's sort of vindictive or something like that. I want to judge it based on, if I was blindfolded, if you've watched some of my videos, I talk about this. If you sit in a chair and be blindfolded and somebody you trust feeds you things, could you tell where they came from? For example, if you couldn't, then it seems almost irrelevant to have these kind of discussions. But behind me, you're going to see the green screen. We're going to change those photos and all that sort of thing. So let's change over to some pictures of the Uni Karu right now. There we go. Anyway, so what you're seeing behind me is the Uni Karu. So that is my personal, pizza oven. It's for a home use and all that sort of thing, and we love it. Anyway, because I want to go from basically what the Uni can do and up, and this might hurt some feelings, but I'm going to go and say it. I'm going to discount pretty much all the gas station pizzas, because there's a lot of people that have gas station type pizza. They throw it into something and it could be microwaved for all I know. And there's lots of gas stations all over, so we're going to rule them out. And we're going to start with another control pizza that I didn't make, and it's only because it's in Spring Hill. It's supposedly been an award-winning pizza place, and it has accolades from the Food Network and such like that. And that's the Boomba's Pizza Place up in Spring Hill. And the reason I do this is because I don't want it to be purely speculation on my part that I'm just choosing my own favorite pizzas. At the very end, I will talk about a favorite pizza in the comparison to another pizza that I try that I happen to like, and it happens to be my favorite pizza because you know what happens. If you're the tourism guy, where do you get pizza? Because it's like, I want the good stuff. I want the professional to tell me where he goes, because wherever he goes, I'm going. All right, so I'm gonna feed you that. All right. So anyway, I want to talk about pizzas that a lot of people don't get. Some people that told me they didn't even know this particular restaurant had pizza because it was kind of famous for other things. We're going to get into all of it. So I want you to first come away with the notion that I'm not going to say something or pick a place simply because somebody paid me to or anything like that. I've come clean on multiple different videos, and you can watch episode 1, go back to our name and click on it. You'll see it, episode 1, where I discuss everything. So anyway, what I'm going to do with comparing them to these award-winning pizza places, that it's somebody outside of me, it's outside of everything else, and we're going to, and I've ate them. I paid for that with my own money. All these things, none of them were free. So what I'm going to do is kind of give you my thoughts from a person who cooks their own pizza. All right, and another one, I've been over in Arizona to the Best Pizza in America places too. That was in 2012. I didn't really do a lot of photography. I did a lot of video stuff at that time, so I don't really have anything to show you behind me. But anyway, I feel like I'm a good judge of pizza, or what makes good pizzas, and I need to start off by taking the gas station pizzas just out, unless they happen to have one of these other ones. Also, we're going to talk about the franchise box stores in this comparison, because it's, I think, unfair to leave out some of those that are known for pizza out of the comparison when they're in the county. All right, so we're going to start off with those. And it might just be at the, I don't really want to say that it's at the bottom, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to start with this notion that, and if you see me glancing, it's because I have notes, all right? I've got pages of notes, and it's because at the time when I was eating them, I was writing things down, and I waited on a place that I hadn't been to, so I had to write things so I didn't forget my original thoughts, and I kind of surmised those thoughts into this little check sheet that I'm gonna kind of go by. Now, these are pizzas that we, as you can see behind me, these are pizzas that we got at the time, which means somebody could have been having a good day, somebody could have been having a bad day, and I happened to get to Domino's Pizza on a day that they had a big order, and they ran out of boxes. So they had to put my bigger pizza into pieces, in 2 boxes, and it was kind of thrown together. I'll be honest. I didn't particularly like that very much, but I understand. Somebody ordered a bunch of pizzas. The group of like 5 to 7 people were in there making pizzas like mad. All right, so, and there was people that were waiting and all that sort of thing. So I might have caught them on a bad day. But anyway, I think the Domino's pizzas are pretty good for what they are. If you, I typically wait till there's a sale, you know what I mean, or something that makes them cheaper, you know what I mean? Because I do believe that the franchise stores have kind of a cheap pizza. You know what I mean? It's great if you have a party at your house and your buddies are coming over and you don't want to spring for the really high dollar pizza. You'll spring for some of these that I'm about to mention. So Domino's Pizza is kind of where we started on there. Little Caesars, I believe, in my opinion, is a step up from Domino's Pizza. They typically have also a thicker pizzas and thinner pizzas. You can get all kinds of different things. Now they have a conveyor system that goes through, and I kind of deducted a little bit of points because in Lawrenceburg, the Little Caesars does not have a eating in area. So the eat-in kitchen, or not really kitchen, but a dining area is kind of nice. And one thing I liked about Domino's Pizza is that here in Lawrenceburg, they do have an eating, dining area so that you can go in if you want to kind of get your pizza right out of the oven onto the table and start eating it. You can do that, where you can't do that at Little Caesars. Now, one that doesn't have really either happens to be Hunt's Brothers. I put them above Little Caesar simply because you can get a very customized, very cheesy, good, cheap pizza. Now, Hunt's Brothers, for the people who know me, you might get upset, all right? But typically, as a person that lived outside of the city limits by a good piece, on a farm, which I know it looks funny, sounds funny looking at me now, but on the farm, you could put a Hunt's Brothers up on the hood of the old Murray tractor and just drive around mowing the yard, eating pizza. You know what I mean? You can put it in you can take it with you fishing. You know what I mean? For some reason, when I think of Hunt's Brothers, that's what I think of, is that pizza you can kind of sling out everywhere. Because there is, to my knowledge, not a Hunt's Brothers type store or something like that. They're usually inside of a store, even a gas station a lot of times. But for some reason, they tend to, if I just look at it and pick it up, there's nice gooey cheese. The crust, for some reason, is pretty good. Now, this is not indicative of all of them. I'm sure there's probably some that make it great and some of them make it terrible. I get it that it could be that the method of cooking might be different in wherever you're at. But typically a Hunt's Brothers is a decent, cheap, economical pizza. You know what I mean? And of course that that also opens up Pizza Hut, in my opinion, is the best of the chain stores here. It's one of those things, guys. I'm trying to say it. If they took this chair and they blindfolded me and fed me a Pizza Hut pizza, I'm probably going to know it's Pizza Hut for some odd reason. And this Pizza Hut in Lawrenceburg is a pretty good one. They got some people that know how to make them good. And I feel like it is a pretty good place to get pizza. I hardly ever see anybody eating inside anymore. Back during, a couple years ago when everybody had to stay home, we got used to that, I guess, and now nobody goes out anymore. There's no buffets. For a long time, oh my goodness, the Pizza Hut buffet was like the place to be. And I loved the Pizza Hut buffet. I wish I'd bring it back, but hardly anybody's bringing back a buffet of any kind whatsoever, and it's probably not because of any sicknesses. It's probably due to the economy and the ability to get things in and out and all that sort of stuff. But I really do miss those times where you can go. Also for me, Pizza Hut was a good place where if your ball team won or something, or your church group went out somewhere, it was sort of a Pizza Hut if you wanted to impress them a little bit more, I guess. That's maybe why I pick it. It's a lot of, like I say, it could be some of it. Now, from the step up from those, like I say, this is all of the ones I mentioned thus far is part of a chain or franchise. Box store is another way I'll put it. So now I'm going to kind of get into another area of pizza, which I believe is slightly higher. And it's the people who get what I call birthday pizzas. Everybody that's been to like the rink or to somewhere like the Halftime, they go to bowling, the Kingpin lanes, you know what I mean? And they're going to get a pizza that they buy the crust. They're usually frozen, and then they thaw them and everything else, and or they bring them out, and then they'll start making the pizza according to what you order. So if you want something that they have that is, maybe it has a different kind of base. Maybe it's like a creamy chicken's Alfredo pizza or something like that. They will take basically a blank crust and then make you the pizza on top of it, put it in the oven or a conveyor, and then it comes across at the other end. They typically are, now this is going to hurt some feelings, they're typically more expensive than they should be. And the reason I say that is because for what it is, and a lot of times for what some of these cost, they're a little bit high. They should be probably lower in economic terms. So instead of having like a $20 pizza, they're probably more like a $10, $12 pizza. So calling them a custom something because of the toppings and cheese, it's not really giving me an additional $8 in value a lot of times. So I don't see as many parties as I used to, I guess. I guess because of that, because if every one of them was, say a pizza was $10 instead of $20, and you had, say, 20 kids coming, and you're starting to look at, well, that's 2 slices per kid or something, well, that's, and you start doing the math. If the pizza was double the price, and you can't bring in your own sometimes, then it becomes quite expensive to have a party. So maybe that's why. Maybe that's probably why. Like I say, I don't own any pizza places. Now I'm showing you Kingpin lanes behind me. That's only because I have that pizza as a reference. I happen to believe, as far as these pizzas, these hybrid pizzas we're calling them, I believe it's a really good example of a hybrid pizza where they have a crust, they put them in there. If you're bowling and you got your buddies and you got your beer or your soda or something, and you're having a great time, then usually divide up the pizzas. They can knock them out in no time. That's kind of why they're the birthday party pizza. They can make a lot of them. They don't really have to do a whole lot. They can bulk buy a lot of the ingredients. So it makes it a good profitable choice to have them as a pizza. And sometimes they make things that are actually pretty cool. You know what I mean? Some pizzas that are actually really neat. So anyway, that's what I kind of put as the, in my opinion anyway, I think Halftime Grill there at Kingpin Lanes has the best of the hybrid pizzas. So if you want to call that a winner, right? We're moving out of the box stores into a division. So I'm going to call that the winner of that particular division. Now, we're going to get in the good stuff. Don't you like this? Do you like this kind of video? I would love for you guys to subscribe and follow us and everything else if this seems to be something you like. Or you can put a comment in the bottom. I agree with you, or I think you're nuts. I don't know. You know what I mean? So put that down in the comments. Now, we're going to go on to another place that a lot of people didn't know had a great pizza. And that is the winner of our best value. Yes, value. That's part, I mean, just part of how our buying decisions, right? How something is valuable to us. And that's the Cowpen Bar and Grill. Yes. If you don't want to go in the bar and grill, they actually have a drive-through. You call ahead. You can't message them on Facebook or something like that. They have an electric pizza oven. It takes two, and it's a full, like it's a domed electric pizza oven. I didn't even know they had such a thing. But one thing that the Cowpen does, it's so creative. They play up this thing. Now, it's the last thing on the right before you get into Alabama. It's in St. Joe. I mean, it is just, like right beside the line. And this pizza is called the cow pie pizza. Like a cow pie. Anyway, and they're not messing around. Every single ingredient and element that's in this has been hand cut, hand sliced by some ladies in the back that know how to cook. And anyway, we thought when they handed it over, I thought, you know what, this thing feels heavy. It feels dense. And I thought, oh my goodness. So we opened it up in the car, and Tara put it in her lap, and we're looking at this thing, and it's like 1.25 inches tall. I mean, the where they cut it, it's just like a ravine. And I'm like, oh dear, this is the kind of pizza that you don't wear your Brooks Brothers shirt. I mean, it's one of those you just take your shirt off, I guess, because there's about to be a lot on you if you don't watch out. But we got it back at our house and everything else and ate it. Now, you can't eat there. They have the whole karaoke and bar scene. They got pool tables and stuff going on. And it's a real neat place, kind of a real good hangout. They got the bikers with the motorcycles and you know what I mean. And then we realized that we could have got this thing even bigger if we would have ordered the jalapenos and the pineapple chunks. It would have been massive. But each piece, or each slice, I should say, was 8 ounces or more per one. So that's what we were dividing up the cost. I think it was $23, I think, something like that for. I think it's 16 inches. It's large. I mean, all these are pretty much large pizzas because that's what I figure everybody wanted. And yeah, each topping was hand cut. So you can make it even bigger than what it was, but it was dense. I mean, it was all white cheese. There was like no yellow cheese in the whole thing. But they have a particular way to make this cow pie pizza. So it's winning our best value. So anyway, so let's move on from there to a place. Now, we did have two other divisions, best for kids and the most toppings. And that had to go to Debo's Pizza. Now, Debo's Pizza, I don't know why more people don't go there, but they should. Debo's Pizza is awesome. She won for our most amount of toppings at 21. 21 toppings. She has this big thing out, and she went just kind of a handful of each thing. You know what I mean? Not 21 individual pieces, but 21 times she went from here to here. You know what I'm saying? She's putting this on this, you see behind me, and she's putting this pizza together. And when she gets done, it's another thick one. It's a really nice, thick, nice oval pizza. And this is where the kid angle comes in. and it's because if you take a pizza like now, this one's cold. My kiddo had it, and anyway, now pay attention. Now watch this. If you give a kid this pizza or a pizza like this that's hot, this what we basically call the little triangle droop, or the this notion of this thing is just going to fall in. So they have to do this and then feed themselves kind of with this two-hand motion. And I get it. A lot of people are like, well, yeah, that's how you eat pizza, you know what I mean? So what we figured out was that if it was square, let me just replicate this by holding it like this. Because of the square shape, because if you take an oval pizza, right? You take an oval, you split it down the middle, and then you go crossways, it makes like a square piece. And they can just pick it up and eat it. And a lot of times you'll notice they'll kind of eat in a circle, and then they'll eat just sort of the end bite. And two, there's only edge on one short side. Like this one's kind of where the crust is only on this side, and you have long sides here. But so you do have a bit more crust, but it's something for them to get a hold of and then eat by themselves. You don't have to help them. You don't have to worry about the cheese and stuff dropping all over and making a mess. You don't have to worry about none of that if you have a square piece. So that's why we called it the best for kids. Also, if you like sweet sauce, we all know that kids love sweets. She happens to have what we feel is the sweeter sauce. Like there's more, it's not as pungently tomato-y flavored. It's like it's got more sugar, or a sugary type of, like a San Marzano type base to it. Underneath the cheese, there's a base of a sauce. And what happens is that because it's sweeter, we find that it seems like kids like it more. So she wins for our Best for Kids division and our most toppings. And she also has like 3 different types of cheese that goes on it. We do recommend that sometimes she gets popular. She also has her own delivery system. So she's going to pretty much guarantee you're going to get that pizza to your place. We always recommend just going. She has a patio area to the side. It's right there on Depot Street, just walking distance from the square. And anyway, call before you go. She makes a lot of other things, and she has just one small conveyor that all these pizzas have to get done on. So it just don't rush down there thinking you're going to get a pizza immediately. You might be in a long line of other people getting pizzas from her. So be sure to check out Debo's Pizza. All right, now if you did walk down to the square, we're going to have some more. There's some coming, right? Maybe not the one you're thinking of, because we're going to talk about the best neatly made pizza, and that goes to this Society American Noshery. That's right, down there. Jason makes some pizzas, and he makes a few specialty pizzas, like a Nashville Hot, and different other ones, like that. Well, we got our, just as you can tell behind us, we have one that it was more classic, because I felt you shouldn't judge a Nashville Hot pizza next to a classic pizza. That's just wrong. It's you should judge like with like, so that you can kind of see how they're similar and how they're different. Another thing that I wish Jason, now if you're watching Jason, as you can see behind me, one of the few places you can get lasagna. Oh, I love Italian foods, and I get it. There's some other places, like the Brass Lantern has a noodly dishes, fettuccine and a really good spaghetti plate. Places like Stryker's Steakhouse has a noodly Cajun-y thing. Nobody has lasagna. I mean, like all the time. Like I'm doing this on a Monday. No one knows. Most places are closed on Monday. So could you, Jason, please make the lasagna part of the menu? All right, I would love that. You would be the only one. And if you guys are watching and you love lasagna, go when they're having lasagna. A lot of people, they do this because you have to make lasagna in these big things, and that's why you have what is it? The St. Joe Cafe has it on occasions. It's not all the time. There's a day that they have it. I think the Country Kitchen, I think, also has it at times on their, their buffet where you can scoop it out. Maybe Square 40 does. I'm not sure. But those guys, they'll do a big pans of it, so that you go on, like they'll put it on their Facebook, and you'll go during that day. But Jason's spaghetti, or his lasagna was so good. It was just real good. And it was right up there with a really good Italian restaurant, too. I mean, it was phenomenal. And like I say, the Society makes a bunch of really good plates. So it's not just them, but they do have a pizza that you can get. I think it's got kind of the same gas. It's got I forget the name of them. It's basically a gas pizza oven. You put it in there and put a little door. They're not that big. You know what I mean? And but he's got one of these and it makes really good pizza. So anyway, that's what we thought was just the best neatly made pizza. It was just a really neat pizza. Now, all right, we're gonna go back south of the border to the best thick style pizza. Now, the reason I call it like this, it's not quite Detroit style. Detroit style is more of an oval shape or a rectangle shape. This is a round pizza, and I didn't know they quite existed. I'd always seen their place. I didn't stop. I just, it's like anything else. I was headed somewhere else, didn't really pay attention to it. But our best thick style pizza goes to Carter's Little House there in St. Joe. It's on 227. You turn by the, was that the dollar store? And you go kind of through a little four-way. And as you sort of drop off the hill, be looking to your left. There's a sign out, and literally a little house where they have probably the most, it was like my 1980s childhood came back. It was like I was back at that really nice pizza place that was like probably a step above like a Pizza Hut or something, but it had the most sort of iconic flavor of a really good supreme pizza. Now, some of the better people that we're going to talk about here in a little bit, they don't really make a supreme because it seems like everybody's got a supreme. Why should we? And that's true, and I get that, and that's their choice. But to me, to have the peppers and the onions and the stuff and they got like bacon on it and this, it was just so good. Yeah, Carter's Little House. It was. Now, what they have is they get these dough flats. Basically, it's just a little bit smaller than their, their pan pizza, the pizza pan. So they have to put it down and then sort of wedge it out. I don't think it's ever frozen. I think it just comes in these things. Whenever they're out, they're just out. So if you ever call and say, I'm sorry, we're out of pizza, it's because those dough flats are gone. I mean, everybody bought one. So they have to kind of mash it in. So it's not quite like a hybrid pizza. But they do have to order their dough that is a particular kind of dough. And they spread it out, and then they just start building this pizza. Then it goes through a conveyor. And the conveyor is kind of like, if you look, I guess most notable is if you go into the, what is the name of that? Little Caesars. Little Caesars. Okay. You look in Little Caesars, and you look back behind the little door, and you'll see a conveyor where they put the pizzas in, and they just know that by the time this pizza reaches the end, that travel distance is going to cook it sort of between these two heating elements, and it'll kind of cook as it goes, and it just stays going. Even if no one's ordering pizza, it just continues to go. She has a pizza oven conveyor. There's two of them. There's one on the top, one on the bottom, it looked like. And she could feed these pizzas in through this conveyor. So that's how they're cooked. But the taste, it was just... Put in the comments if you've had a Carter's Little House pizza. They were so good. It might just be the best all-around pizza. Simply because it was just like, I bit into it and it was just like, oh wow, this is good. You know what I mean? So just go try one. So anyway, they won our best thick style pizzas. They also have specialty pizzas. They have a taco pizza. They have a bacon ranch pizza. They have some other things, you know what I mean? They got burgers and fries and everything, all that sort of stuff. Been in business for like 24 years. I had never heard of, oh, I'm such a terrible tourism person. Didn't even really know they existed. Anyway, so that's them. Now let's talk about a place that I imagined when I started this that the people just knew this place would be on. So as you can tell, we got pizzas going all behind me, all that sort of thing. Now we're also moving up to our number 3 spot, and that's what we called best variety of pizzas. And that has to go to the Pie Factory. Of course it's going to have to go to the Pie Factory. It's a pizza dedicated restaurant. A lot of these other places that we mentioned, they have pizza with everything else. You know what I mean? And anyway, and I know a lot of people would say, well, why didn't you pick that as your number 1 pizza? I get that, and that's going to come up later. I'm going to explain it, okay? So don't worry, it's coming. The reason I called it the most variety is because they have everything. And I've never had really a bad pizza there. Oh, it's like they have a lot of things that I didn't even know that anybody could do. For example, they have a s'mores pizza. It's the s'mores pizza. I mean, think about that. It's the chocolate and the marshmallows and the stuff like that. Give it to my kid, and oh, she loved it. You know, and it warmed up good the next day. It was just a s'mores pizza. I mean, how would you? I don't know. It was great. They have a buffalo ranch type thing, or buffalo pizza. It's got the black buffalo chicken. They have a barbecue chicken thing. They have things with like a spinach ranch base something on, I don't know, cauliflower. They have something for everybody. They have just this. You can see it. Look at the photos behind me. They have like a row of like 10 pizzas on one side, and then another like explanation of like a row of pizzas on the other. And they make their dough. You know what I mean? They have a bunch of people that's putting them together. They're just they get orders, and it's made for speed. And this is going to come up of why I picked them for number 3. And they have a dedicated gas-powered pizza oven. It's really big. You could put probably 6 to 9 pizzas, no problem, in each one of these things. And there's like a row of them, and they do nothing but keep pizzas. I mean, there's a stack of the launchers, just where they can unload or start making a bunch of pizzas that are going to be basically line and wait for these other pizzas, and they can cook one in just no time as that pizza stone gets really hot and it'll bubble up and all that sort of thing. And that's what's kind of hard to do with some of these, is that nice rising effect. Anyway, so there's somebody just non-stop taking pizzas in and spinning just constantly. They probably have shoulders of steel or something, as they're taking things in and out of these ovens just non-stop. And they can get a lot of things to the tables quickly, so they don't have to wait. And because it's not as, in my opinion, as good as our top 2, which are coming. You guys that are waiting, that have been waiting for this number 1 position, I love it. Thank you so much. I would love for you to subscribe and follow us and such like this. But anyway, they have another, I think, a phenomenal pizza that just stands out above all the other ones. And it also stands out in price. It's their most expensive one. It's their biggest. It has the most amount of things on it. And it's called the Sink. Basically everything but the kitchen sink is on this thing. They have Guatemala olives, which is a real nice touch. There's just a lot of things in the sliced up vegetation that's on this thing. It's a lot of meats too, don't get me wrong. It's just, like I said, it's the sink. It's everything but the kitchen sink is on this particular pizza. And I love it. It's my favorite of their pizzas. They don't really have a thick pizza. That's not there. Or if it was, I couldn't find it. All right. So everything's going to be kind of on the thin side. It's a little bit crackery, you know what I mean? But everyone I've ever got like this has been really good. Now, they also have a classic pizza. If you just want the typical cheese and pepperoni pizza, then you're fine. There's a lot of things that fit that bill. So I don't think you can go wrong with the Pie Factory, all that sort of thing. Now, as I said, we're going up to our top 2 positions. And I know you're probably doing the law of deductive reasoning here, going, all right, I know of 2 that you haven't mentioned yet. They're coming. But I want to stop for just a little bit and not talk about any sponsor because nobody pays us. I want to talk about pizza of the past. I did go to some places that no longer in business, and that made me kind of sad. And since they were recently out of business, and they did win for some of our categories, I wanted to, mention them, all right? So, anyway, let's talk about this, the pizzas of the past. Now, previous best pizza, hands down, was Darnelli's Pizza up in Summertown. When they handed you a pizza, you better be holding on, because this thing would do a nosedive. It was so thick. It was a true 16 plus across. It barely fit in the box. When she cut ham, they were like 1/4 inch thick. They were like 1 inch squares. The jalapenos were just massive. And they would be like $16. Maybe she didn't charge enough. I felt like that. I felt bad that she went out of business and she just wanted to, something come up. I don't know the reasons. I just know that something come up and she had to shut it down. And as far as value, oh my, it was by far the best value because each piece, it could have just eat this piece. This piece is tiny compared to her pizzas. I mean, it was just like you were holding like you would eat one piece. Like if you're a 2 or 3 person, a piece person, you would eat one because it would be this thing. You had to almost eat it with a fork. It was like you had to hold it together and talk about that, triangle droop. Oh, you had to sort of put a plate under it or something. I mean, it was just good. And it was by far the best value anywhere. But unfortunately, it's gone. Now, as far as previous neat pizza, as far as just, I almost want to call it a crazy pizza. Because at Stetter's restaurant, I got one of their design your own pizzas. So I put a cauliflower crust with like marinara and I forget what was it, like cocktail sauce with shrimp. And they had like a specialty cheese. And I think I put black olives. I mean, you can see it behind me, all right? So I'm going to do that. So, I put shrimp crust marinara. Or a cauliflower crust shrimp marinara cocktail sauce. And ironically, it was actually really good. It was neat. It was just a neat looking pizza. But Stetter's went out of business. So anyway, I wanted to talk about some of the places I'd been to in the past that are actually not here. So that takes us into, you've been waiting on this. The best pizza in Lawrence County. All right, now these are the best. I'm sorry if I'm hurting your feelings. Let's go back through criteria one more time. A pizza is constructed of a crust on the bottom that's followed by a base between the cheese. Then there's toppings that would go in the sub layer underneath the cheese. Then there's layers of cheese, and then there's toppings that would go on top of this. And we all know this as we bit into one, that there's things that are going in here. And of course, both of these places also have something that the other two don't, and that's a wood-fired pizza oven. Okay, when you have that, I'm sorry, they just make a better pizza. They just do. Don't believe me? Go get one. Go get 2 of them. Go to one of these places, get a pizza. Go to your other place that you love pizza. or your gas station. I don't know if you just love gas station pizzas. And compare them. Put one in each hand, bite, look underneath the cheese. I promise you, you'll probably come away with the notion that these two are the best. No matter how many times you do that little contest for yourself, you're going to find that these two keep coming back. They also have their own custom dough. Like I say, that crust that's right up against your tongue as soon as you bite into a piece, it holds up everything. It has to be light, airy, tear off just right. And they have their own custom recipes, plus their own base recipe. So whenever they're spreading their sauce around, that's their baby. All right, also, so they hand cut everything. They know exactly what goes in. And also the owners the owners are the ones cooking it. Everywhere else, just about, you'll find, besides Debo's and Carter's Little House, some of our other ones, an employee is usually cooking them. But many times, and just about every time in one of these, is the actual owner. They're on site, they're watching, they're in there doing it. All right, so there's another thing. So you can't complain and say, well, this guy messed up my pizza. It's like, you're talking to me. I own the whole thing. So people that talk about folks that don't want to work, the owners are working these pizza stands. And of course, that is none other than the Noble Fox and Heine's. That is the best two. In my opinion, they're tied. I did give one of them the best. And this is where I had to go away from pizza to make that call. And I give it to Heine's. And the reason why is that at the Noble Fox, they only do pizza on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. They start at 5, go to about 8 or 9. And that's the only time you're going to get them. While at Heine's, you can pretty much get pizza 7 days a week. You know what I mean? Now, there is a dedicated pizza person, but the owners are right there. And most of the time, whenever I ordered a pizza and I would go back there and look, it was actually the owners, Trip and Gina, that would be making the pizza. All right? Colby Tidwell, fantastic cook. Oh, such a good restaurateur and all that sort of thing. He at the Noble Fox, he makes all this. He has another person that flips them up and puts them in and all that stuff. But he's right there with them. And a lot of times he's the one taking them in and out. He's watching that pizza oven. It's a very large one that they have at the Noble Fox. It's a very old pizza oven. It's completely wood-fired. Heine's Barbecue has a made in Italy, like, official, got papers on this dude. And it is gas assisted, but it also has it's gas assisted, but it's fire in the wood fired in it. So it kind of gets the wood started, if you will, instead of having to do the thing and the stoking and the getting the wood and keeping the wood going and raking it out. It kind of does its own thing. So I see them as two in the same. Like I say, for a long time, the Noble Fox was our better place because I thought it had a better dough, because he goes to Nashville and gets these custom balls. And then Tripp came back with a supplier that let him get a type of dough that he was able to work with. And oh my, it was just a better dough. And then his son Levi made up his own sausages. So now he's got like a meat pizza. They have a wonderful chopped brisket pizza with their Heine liquor sauce. That's the name of it, I promise. Go to their restaurant and look. It says Heine liquor, like Heine, then like a liquor shot glass. You know what I mean? It's Heine liquor. Anyway, so they have a lot of different pizzas that happen to just be great. And I was, a little story why I also pick Heine's is they happen to make my personal favorite pizza in Lawrence County, and that's called the Bee Sting Pizza. Now, I will say a little bit of a caveat here. The Bee Sting Pizza is for people that like spicy food, all right? The reason it's called a bee sting is there's a stinger in there, if you will. And if you're one of those that have stomach ailments or something, or it doesn't take you much to get coughing, I'm not saying it's just so hot you can't eat it. I'm just saying that if you can handle, we'll say hot salsa, you're fine. There's nothing really any hotter than hot salsa in there, but it is at least up there with hot salsa. All right. I was at a place in Nashville where I was. There's a lot of stuff wrong with me, in the Vanderbilt system and all that sort of thing. And we went to the Cheesecake Factory. And I'm looking through here, and I'm just glancing, and I look down, and they have a flatbread pizza, which I'll talk about here in just a second. And I'm looking at this thing, and I'm like going, okay, a flatbread pizza. That's neat. And I'm checking this thing out, and I'm like, I gotta get that because it's called a bee sting, or it's a bee sting style. And so I have it, and you can see behind me, it's right there. I'm having this pizza, and I'm like, oh, it's the same pad, you know what I mean? So when Trip Weagle said, I got a bee sting pizza, it's got to have these peppers and that pepper and all this sort of stuff. And you see it too. And, it was great. So me and Josh, we went over there and put our little thing, and I pushed his, I kind of, I don't know, I was being smart alecky, I guess. But I moved his water, and I moved my water, and I was saying, let's do this, no water. We'll just snot up like bulls if we need to, And it's funny, because I was chewing it, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, I hit some of these peppers, and the thing was great. So anyway, that's my favorite in all of Lawrence County. Now, there is a pizza that I mentioned just a second ago called flatbread pizza. All right, now, 1819, the restaurant, also has a flatbread style pizza. Isn't that cool? You know what I mean? And it's not hot like the bee sting pizza at the Cheesecake Factory, but it's also really good. And if you're there and you want, and it's cut sort of in pieces, I think of it more as a thing that you should get more like an appetizer. You know what I mean? Because it is sort of small in comparison to like a pizza. So I didn't really want to put it in the same category as pizzas, because flatbread pizzas are typically not that big. They're kind of an individual pizza thing. So if you don't want a big pizza and you're a person who lives by themselves or something, I think that would be a good alternative. And it's got some fancy features, and it's a really good pizza there at 1819, the restaurant. So that pretty well concludes my list. Let me go back to my original notes, make sure it's okay. But I think that we have some really good pizzas. You know what I mean? I really do. I enjoy the places here. Like I say, I typically go between the Noble Fox and Heine's. But I think that what I should leave you, the viewer, with is something to say along the line of, go out and try our pizza places. You know what I mean? I get it to that, like behind me, the Sam's pizza that you can get at Sam's in Florence are very inexpensive, but it was not that great of a pizza. And, I want you guys to have great pizzas, you know what I mean? To try out some of our places and compare them. This cost me a fortune to go do. And anyway, so having some of the more cheaper pizzas being the pizza that people eat more often, and I didn't even want to go into like the store pizzas like Red Baron and Tombstone. What's the other ones like DiGiorno? All those things you could do at home. I didn't even get into those. Anything you could do at home, I'm going to say that since I'm a tourism-y based channel, people that come here are obviously not usually at their home, so I didn't want to include them. For one, they're not as good as these places I just mentioned. So, and like I say, I'm a guy that does pizza at home. I got my own uni. So, please go out and just try some of our Lawrence County pizzas. All right, that's all I'm asking. And if you think that this is going to be, I don't know, try this. If you think that my choice isn't as good as your choice, then go get both of them. Get your family and friends together and try it out. Like, try to see if you got the sink pizza, and we'll say, because it's a Supreme, it's like the super duper Supreme, and I just mentioned the most toppings ever, you know what I mean, the Debo's pizza, then get one of each. Go home and try it. Take pictures of it. Put it on. Social media or something like that. Put it on whatever you got. TikTok, whatever. I don't care. And then just see. I mean, get the conversation started. I don't know. Even tag me, that big jerk at the Visit Lawrenceburg. I hate him. He's told me my place wasn't number one. Fine, run me down. I don't care. But whenever you get two of them side by side, you can learn a lot, and then do it again. Try your number one versus somebody else's number one. Try, like at the Noble Fox, they have a really good pineapple-based pizza. Oh, it's probably one that I like. Sorry, Trip, but I like Noble Fox's pineapple-based pizza better than the one at Heine's at the moment. So I pick and choose a little bit. You know what I mean? And that's wonderful. And all that sort of thing. So try to go out. Find you some Lawrenceburg places for pizza. I know that sometimes that can get kind of high. I think the St. Pizza was the most expensive. It was close to $40, I think, with tax and all. The Heine's pizzas and the Noble Fox are just over $20. You know what I mean? There's very few of them that are over 20, even for our top place. So I think Debo's is right in there somewhere. You know what I mean? Now this is a whole pizza. This is a full-size pizza that you can get there. So I'm not saying that it's a small pizza. This is each one of these I've just mentioned was a big pizza. So if you're just there halving, or you and your spouse or you and your buddies, something like that, want to just half one, then you could do several of them, right? So try to go out and do that. So anyway, this has been Mike. Now we also have some ribs. We have a hamburger one coming up. We have a lot of other things that I wanted to try. One on sushi. You know what I mean? Because we do have some sushi places, and a lot of people didn't even know we had. Because some people are new to the area, they're moving around or they're coming through. They come to see the Amish. That's why the Amish of Ethridge kind of comes in. And anyway, so I wanted to kind of put these kind of things together to get the conversation started about food. So what do you think? Do you think I picked right? Is there some that you thought was out of place? Is there some of these that you want to try? You know what I mean? All that sort of thing. Is there a place I left out? You know what I mean? Just tell me in the comments. If anything else, if you've watched to this end, thank you so much. Because I do get long-winded. I go on for a long time, and this is just a one-take, no mistake kind of video. I put the pictures behind me on the green screen so that I can verify to you that this is what happened, or this is the pizza that I got whenever I had my camera. It came to either my house or I went and got them, and it was just happened to be what was in front of me. So anybody can have a good day or a bad day. So any of this stuff can change depending on when you go. So that's what I'm asking. You guys take off and go. So if you watched this far, we are friends, obviously. Be sure to click on our name and then go to whatever video that you might want to see. You know what I mean? I might have done a video just like this one of a rib plate or a steak or a big burger or something like that. Cheese sticks. Chicken wings, something like that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have other things that I'm gonna do along this line, and I want you guys to see them. So if you really liked it, be sure to subscribe, ring the bell, all that sort of thing. Now, if you're watching this on Facebook, please go up to the like and follow button and do both. Hopefully, anyway. This has been Mike, the Visit Lawrenceburg, Tennessee page, and also in conjunction with the Amish of Ethridge with this video right here. So I love that you'd spend some time with me this afternoon, and thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully I'll see you in that next video. Bye-bye.